What do you do when your best ideas simply don't work anymore?
Well, in this episode, we'll share with you how the practice of listening deeply helped us grow in life and aided our recovery. Well, it's August 5th, and it's time for another double shot from My Sober Truth. I like this one.
Yeah.
You know, listening deeply, I think we could just call this taking advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say taking advice like a man, taking advice like a woman, but taking advice.
Yeah.
Being open. You know, we throw around the word willingness all the time, and being willing to listen to others, especially folks that have been a few steps ahead of us on the journey,
Right.
probably is a good thing. So I'll just dive in and ask you the question that I'm dying to ask you. It's like, how did the practice of listening deeply help you grow in life?
When I was drunk and high, it was hard to listen to anybody, you know, because I was my own master. So I didn't really listen to anybody. I just kind of did what I wanted to do all the time, flying by the seat of my pants. So coming into recovery, I definitely had to learn some new ideas and learn some new things. And the deeper that I listened, the more I learned.
Right.
And that's really what it all boiled down to. So, you know, and I really like what you brought up about taking advice, and it is about taking advice. Right. And sometimes advice isn't necessarily presented as advice.
That's true.
Especially in a meeting. You may just be listening to other people talk about their own problems.
Oh, that's good.
But all of a sudden something clicks inside of you and you realize, man, that's a problem I've had before. Mm-hmm. Let me listen to what they're saying. How did they handle that? Let me think about this for a little bit. So it's not always just your sponsor telling you what to do. It's not always, you know, some other fellow that you met somewhere who's working a recovery program as well, telling you what to do. So advice isn't always presented as advice. A lot of times it's just listening to the people around you that you've learned to respect, listening to the people around you who seem to have the kind of life that you want to head towards, you know, because, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but when I got into recovery, I didn't get in here on a winning streak. I got here on a losing streak. My life was horrible, so horrible I wanted to end it.
Right.
Well, that's not the case anymore. And the reason that it's not a huge part of the reason that it's not like that anymore is because I listened. I listened to how other folks dealt with these problems that I related to. And I started to put some of that knowledge to work in my own life. And as I did that, the more that I did that, the better my life got. I didn't know how to deal with those problems. I dealt with them I dealt with them by drinking more.
Right.
I dealt with them by using. I dealt with them by, calling up the man and telling him I wanted something.
Right.
That's how, and then when that started to run out, I got some more because I didn't want to think about those problems. So, or I dealt with those problems by absolutely ruining them in the worst way possible. Whether it's an argument or often back in the past, it may have led to a physical altercation. I did not deal with problems in very good ways. So listening to how other people do it, how people that I'm growing to respect, and I'm learning to respect this life that they have, and I want my life to resemble that. It's not going to be exactly the way somebody else's is, but basically for me it was learning to be able to notice these people who have peace in their lives.
Right.
And that was what I wanted to work towards because I'd never had peace in my own life. The noise between my ears always kept me looking for a way to cover that up, and that was with mind-altering substances. So now I don't have a way to cover it up with mind-altering substances, so I need peace. And the way that I get peace is by listening to these people that have been put in my life for a reason. And sometimes they teach me what to do. Sometimes they teach me what not to do. But I listen. And as I listen, there's a little note that I made here, because it is all kind of interconnected. As I listen deeply, I start to develop my own intuition.
Right.
A real intuition, not what the alcohol told me to do, not what the drugs told me to do, but my heart.
Right.
My own intuition. And as I learn to develop that intuition, it's practicing that every day becomes this baby step.
Right.
And these baby steps, you feel like you're taking such small little steps at a time, but those baby steps add up. And so what I have written down here is listening deeply helped me develop my intuition.
Right.
And that intuition is one of the baby steps that I practice, and it helped me later on with bigger problems down the road. If I stop and pick up a piece of paper on the side of the road, that may not seem like a big thing. I'm picking up a piece of litter. But later on, when I have some other problem, just the fact that I've put myself in a good place. Mm-hmm. I've done something that I know is right today. I woke up and I made my bed.
Right.
I did what I needed to do to help take care of myself. Well, now some bigger problem comes along and my intuition is so much better, and I can learn to trust that.
I love it. You said something early on, and I'm so glad you brought this point up because it just makes me want to expand on it. But it's not just about listening to your sponsor's advice. And so the intentional, direct advice,
right.
That's one way. But it's the indirect advice, but it's like walking into every situation in your life with your listening ears on, getting up, expecting to have a lesson for the good.
Right.
Happening every day, is putting out that expectation and looking for the opportunity to learn from whatever situation you're in. We've been talking about the spiritual journey side of this, and it's almost like, if we are developing that faith, we're developing that, the following our higher power, have the expectation that you're going to be led as you're following along to be in the exact place you need to be in to get the advice you need in the way you need it.
Absolutely.
It's having your listening ears open.
Yep.
It's not like you said when you were using and out running and gunning. It's almost like your ears were like this.
Yep.
You weren't physically that way, but spiritually, mentally, that's where you were.
Right.
And so as we're taking our hands out of our ears and we're putting our every aspect of our being in line to listen, to receive what the universe has to give back to us, it's an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely.
And again, I like what you said. It may be of what to do, and it may be of what not to do.
Right.
But everyone, and I love the fact that you said it helps develop your intuition, because every time you make that good step, you make that good choice, it's another good choice in the win column, and you begin to trust yourself just a little bit more.
Right.
Gosh, we could talk about this forever, but
absolutely.
Let's cut this short for today, because I'm sure we're going to talk about more of this tomorrow. And let's ask our viewers this question. Guys, how has the practice of listening deeply to others, to your higher power, and to the universe helped you grow in life and aid your recovery? We really would like to hear your stories on this subject, and we know it's going to help somebody else on their journey too. And on that note, for My Sober Truth, I'm Mark.
Hey, and I'm Sean, and here's hoping that today you stay drunk with success. Love y'all. Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. If you're ready for another round of My Sober Truth, then belly on up to mysobertruth.com and click on the double shot button today. There you'll find the daily inspiration, encouragement, and support that'll help you stay clean, on track, and growing in every area of your life. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you got a minute, stick around, watch another video. Love y'all.